In this video today, I want to share with you guys my struggle and how did I overcome weight loss. I was never a fit or anything in that direction growing up, even until on my mid-20s. I am originally from Brazil. I live in the United States. It's been almost 19 years now. And my whole childhood, I struggled with my weight. I was never fit. I was the slowest at school. I was bullied, and I had a really bad relationship with myself. I had really low self-confidence. I always struggled to make friends, and I was super quiet, and I was a weirdo, right? I started taking antidepressant at age of 12. Really didn't understand back then why, but it just seemed that was the right thing to do because I was not happy. And okay, take some pills and they're gonna make you feel better. I was 12. And so that was pretty much my teenage years, really low self-confidence, and start putting weight. And again, I was never fit, but it wasn't my priority either. I just accepted that's what it was, right? And then when I was 18, I moved to United States. And that's when it hit me really hard. I left my family in Brazil, and I was working for a Brazilian family, and actually they brought me here, which I'm very thankful until today that they were part of my life. But moving here at age of 18, I didn't speak any English, and it was a battle. I really got into a deep depression because I didn't speak the language. It was cold, so you can only imagine coming from a tropical country to Minnesota to be exactly, and then it was in October. It was really cold, and and I turned into food. Food was my comfort, and I loved food to a point where really I was in misery. My heaviest I ever been was 205 pounds, and that's when I really realized that, oh my gosh, I have to do something about it, because I couldn't recognize myself. And unfortunately, my solution was to turn into food and disorder. Actually, I became anorexic, I became bulimic, and that was going on for a long time. And abusing my body like that, I did lose a lot of weight. I went down all the way to 90 pounds. But that when I got really sick, my body was really shutting down. From a simple cold, I got into pneumonia, which led me to stay in the ICU for 2 weeks, and between life and death. And imagine, like, no family, nobody. I was just in the hands of nurses, which they were super kind to me. And I turned my life into God. I said, that's when I found faith. That's when I found, like, okay, if I want to live, if I want to actually be somebody in this life, I have to turn my life around. And I really relied on God. And sure enough, I was sharing a room with this lady. Next to me, and she gave me a Bible. I got emotional until today. It's been so long. She gave me a Bible, and I really turned into God. And my life was about to change, and I didn't even know. It wasn't easy. Leaving the hospital, I still had a lot to overcome, but I never gave up. I looked for help, and I started working with a nutritionist, and I freaked out when she told me I had to eat 1,500 calories. I was like, what? Because I was eating like a strawberry a day, right? But I took a leap of faith on myself and the people that was around me that was willing to help me. And then I got really curious, because I was like, okay, how come I'm eating that much and I'm losing weight, and I'm healthy, and I feel strong, and I feel good, and my body feels like it just likes it. And then I turned into really being curious about fitness, about health. And sure enough, I started training, I started exercising, and then I became a CrossFit coach. And in all this process, I met my husband, which he's a health in person, and he started teaching me all these amazing things that is like life can offer you when you're healthy. And together we actually owned a CrossFit gym for 8 years, where we really changed a lot of people's life, and it was such a blessing. And I know that all this in my life that I have today is because of that turning point in the hospital, when I turned my life to God and I asked him for help. And I do have the gift to work with people, because this is so deep into my heart. It's not something that I read on the magazine. It's not something that I think it's cool. I know exactly the pain of what it is to look in a mirror and not to recognize yourself. To look in a mirror and just don't know who that person is. And it's so exciting for me to work with people and see how their life changed. It's not just about physically, but how they really transform their life. And that's my mission. It's not a job. It's not something that I consider it's a hustle. It's a truly blessing. I really, really love with passion what I do. And I wouldn't do anything else in this life, because changing people's life is a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing. So I hope this video inspire you to take action in your life. If you are that person that you feel like life is not giving you a chance, it's available. It's available. I was never fit in my entire life. I didn't even know that there was a possibility. This poor overweight girl in Brazil, from the poorest neighborhood that you can imagine, here now living in the United States, being the fittest that she ever been and transforming people's life. That is just oh my gosh, that's like a book. So you can do it too. If you liked this video, if you felt inspired, motivated, I want you to like this video. I want you to share with somebody that you think that it's going to benefit from it. And you can also send me private messages if you want to share your story with me. I would love to hear them, because it's really, really fun to know that you're not alone, that there is people out there that have been through what you've been through, and there's a light, there is an answer, and you can become better always. If there is a heartbeat, you can become better.